I didn't know what I wanted to be, okay? I thought maybe I could be an Arabian / homeless person / robot at the same time. I don't know. I don't think it's quite worked out. Link seems happy with it, though. I mean, his eyes, you can kind of see emotion. Anyway, welcome back, everyone, to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Fashion Disaster, I guess. In the last episode, Alice had some things. Alice had some miscellaneous things to show, and also Korok hunting at the same time. This episode, once again, I fail to talk. But in this episode, as you can probably tell from the, I guess, kind of ridiculous and I guess silly-looking robot hat, I am just gonna talk about basically the attires in which we got, and also showing off the ones that never came along with us during our adventure, and also showing off some that we aren't able to get yet, and also I guess talk about ones that aren't technically in game but more about extras, but we'll talk about them later on. So I just thought we'd go outside of Atino and face some enemies and show off the tires and hopefully what will be a chance for them to shine, I suppose. So starting off, the Hylian outfit. Of course, as you might remember, if you watched it back then, we bought the Hylian hood a long time ago. Back
in the teen episodes.
Exactly, back when we were just immature and not knowing our future, and the Hylian hood. For a time, it was very, very useful early on. Of course, it didn't do much for Link's looks, even though hoods can sometimes be cool. But its defense compared to the other things we had at the time were very helpful. The others, not really, but now things have changed, and we now have the entire Hylian ensemble on our side, which, thanks to the paint job that Alice gave, it doesn't quite fit as well, although we kind of look like, I don't know, maybe Gaston, but...
Wait, so was my paint job a bad idea?
No, it's just the way the default tunic is. Doesn't quite clash.
I mean, because you can always dye it back, you know.
I know, but still, as it stands, this is not about your political choices. This is just made about practicality. So a downside about this tunic is that although it's really agile and it doesn't seem to bog you down as much, unfortunately it's one of the ones that doesn't have a set bonus. You can see hood's 4, tunic's 3, and trousers are 4, and yeah, no set bonus, which is a shame, but it's a bog standard outfit, so it would be kind of too advantageous for someone early on, and for a Hylian tunic, as even if you even by the item's description, it's just, bog standard common garb. So it would be kind of ridiculous to have something like that be extra powerful. But for a start, I say it's practical, and if you can get enough upgrades, definitely worth your time early game.
Seriously though, if you don't like the color of the trousers, you can change it. I was just trying it out.
The colours of the trousers are fine. It's just where the tunic looks. But let's change that and end this argument.
That looks better.
Definitely. And now, we truly have become the Dark Avenger of Hyrule's Night, I suppose. But again, though, cosmetics aside, my point still stands. It's good for early game, and if you have luck in getting enough collectibles and ingredients, it can even last you to mid game. Although the champion's tunic, I will say, it goes overall the best.
Even more than the Guardian one.
Which we'll get to pretty soon. I am Sir Link of Hyrule. As the sun sets, I too shall be your knight in shining armor. Kiss me. Nah, I'm kidding. Now on to the soldiers' armor. Like the Hylian armor, it doesn't have a set bonus per se, but it's definitely good up in defense.
It would have been a really great up in defense if we'd gotten it earlier on.
Yeah, but at the same time, though, we had the champion's tunic, which was a good start overall, and considering where we went in the first place, i.e. Zora's domain, and also the desert, it wasn't quite practical. So it all depends in where you go early on in game. And now, before I get ahead of myself, in case you were wondering, you can get all of the Hylian tunic in Kakariko Village. As for this, you can find it right here in Hateno Village. Now, overall, I would say this has more defense than the Hylian tunic, and to be honest, it's overall a good choice. Getting all of this equipment's not gonna put you past 500 rupees, so like the tunic, it's really good for early game. Although some of the ingredients needed to upgrade, it can be a little bit difficult to find, seeing how these around level 4s, we've got the hood and trousers to level 4 already. So what else can I say? It's just the tunic, but just better. And maybe a little harder to upgrade. Once again, though, if you're lucky enough to get everything for it, it's got an early game and can take you to mid game as well. And now for not really a set per se, but just just an item of clothing.
That means a lot to us.
Yeah, this right here is a warm doublet. It's overall, I would say this is probably only viable for early game, considering how you cannot upgrade this at all. It's level 1, so it's not much of defense, but if you want to go up to the mountains, or if you want to be in the desert at night, this is definitely good and cost effective early on. Now, there are two ways to get this doublet. Of course, you can get it here for 80 rupees in the Atino village shop, or early on After you've done the four main shrines and have got the paraglider and have got the exposition from the king of Hyrule.
You can also get the doublet earlier on if you cook the king's favorite meal.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't do that because we didn't know how to make cooking. We didn't know how to cook really.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a seafood and meat fry or something. I don't know.
As I was mentioning, if you go back to the old man's hut after you've had that cutscene, you'll see see that he'll give you a gift. He'll give you a gift for free, and that being this, free of charge. Once again, defense-wise and practicality-wise, it's not that great. But for early on, if you want to explore cold regions or cold areas in general, this is definitely helpful to you early on. Back in Rito Village, I think it's very fitting if we showed off next the Rito outfit, or the Snowquill trousers, or Snowquill outfit to be more precise. If you head up to Rito Village here, then you'll find it in a local shop. This puts the warm doublet to shame, I think, and it makes it kind of redundant. And when I mentioned about the warm doublet being good early game, like most of the attires in this game, it all depends on how you go about the game. But the Snowquill headdress, it's got better defense. You can upgrade it, but much like how with the soldier's armor, it's a little bit difficult to upgrade compared to how sparse or how unlucky your drops can be, or where you can find the items needed. But getting it upgraded to level 2, it's not that difficult, and I want to say most of the ingredients needed can be found locally. But overall, this is just the warm doublet, but in more of a set. Again, helpful. It's helpful early game if you come up to Rito Village first, and with the cold atmosphere ahead of you, it's definitely giving you an advantage. And this is the first set that we are addressing with a set bonus. If you could upgrade the Snowquill set to at least 2 stars each, you get an unfreezable set bonus. Whether you get hit with ice attacks or just be in a cold place at the same time, you will not get froze, will not take damage, I think, and you'll not get stunned.
It doesn't work for cold water though.
Yeah. Unfortunately. When it says unfreezable, it doesn't mean invincible. Much like pretty much everything about this game, no matter how powerful you are, you still can get hurt. So in cold regions, it's helpful, but it doesn't make you invincible to every single type of cold. But overall, though, I think this outfit, it might be a little bit off on the pricey side, especially if it's early game. I think this entire set will put you back at least 2,000 rupees. I think it's been a long time since we bought this, and I think if memory serves, you cannot pick it up again. I'm just gonna go back and check real quick. Nope, no, never mind. I lied. So yeah, 1,600. Yeah, so give or take 2,100 rupees. Again, for early game, that's gonna be extremely on the pricey side, especially if it's the first region you go to. But later game, or if you just farm and grind up money, I think it's definitely worth your time. If you want my advice on what is the priority to go for, I would honestly go for. I gotta say, snow quill tunic. It gives you the most defense when leveling up. So, if you want to have a priority, then I say that. But again, it's your choice. Anyway, let's move on. Next up on the list is unfortunately not a key to get in here. Here we have, if I can find it, the Desert Vow set. Now this is an interesting piece of clothing. Basically, this gives you the environment. This gives you a great defense against desert heat, and also, as you can see, it gives you a nice shock damage resistance. As in saying, if you get shocked by electric, it's not going to hurt much, and hopefully prevent you from dropping items, which we all know can be very annoying. And I gotta say, this not only looks good and is one of my favourites looking attires of the game, but it also has a chance to be got early on in the game. If you enter Gerudo City or town, and if you sneak and eavesdrop onto Gerudos having a conversation in the bar, they'll talk about a secret club and give you a password, or you'll hear a password.
GSC Diamond.
The secret club is located pretty much near this area inside, and you can get in and you can buy this set for a relatively cheap price, especially compared to the other way in which you can get it, which in my opinion is kind of a silly place, but I'll let you know anyway. If you complete Tarrytown 100%, or at least get the Gerudo to join, this will be on sale. It's very late game unless you focus on Tarrytown pretty much for a good amount of the game. So to me, it's not that practical that way. Getting it here is the best way I can imagine. But despite it being a desert outfit, it does not allow you entrance. So don't even try. As shown here. An optional extra, I guess, for a desert base outfit is, if we come over here, we'll see the sand boots. This gives you speed up in running across sand. It doesn't have to be with the Desert Vow outfit or anything else, just as long as you have the sand boots. It's fantastic.
And an adequate heat resistance.
And although it does take away the shock resistance, it still applies, and I think is the most efficient way to get around the desert on foot, despite not counting the sand seals. A way you get this is there's gonna be this guy running around Gerudo Town wanting to impress a lady, and you have to dress up as one and take on the side quests. He'll give you snow boots, which is pretty much exactly the same thing, except works in snow, obviously. And once you do that, and once you do two side quests for him, you'll have a chance to get both of these. Now, the only drawbacks to these is much like the warm doublet. You cannot upgrade these, which is a shame. But I guess it will make things a bit too fair in your favor. But I think overall, the Desert Voe outfit, I think it's definitely a good hand early game, and it'll take you a good chunk of the middle game. You can take on blights with this, and I think it'll be fine. It's got a decent amount of defense, and that shock resistance is also useful outside of the desert. But now, if you don't mind, I'm going to be doing a bit of a strip tease to these ladies, and they'll have a memory of a goldfish. Told you. And with that, we just walk straight on through. No need to hide, no need to take cover. We can just enter. And with that, let's get on to the Desert Voe. Or Vey. Is it Voe?
Desert Vi.
Desert Vi. Basically, Gerudo's Gerudo Veils. This outfit is story... what's the word?
Based.
Yeah, it's story based. You need this. Otherwise, you aren't getting in here. If you need to know how to get this, if you ask around the bazaar enough, especially inside of the inn, they'll tell you that there is a mysterious person who sleeps on the roof at 12 in the afternoon. Go up to them, and you'll find it's secretly a guy. So, and eventually, if you have 600 rupees, he'll give you one of these outfits, and you'll be able to walk in here, no problem. Now, for practicality's sake, it's not very good. If there's the massive complaint about this is that this is just for Gerudo Town and nothing else. There are so much better options than this. It's pretty much just an entire set of the warm doublet. One defense all around, and there's no way you can upgrade it. I guess the only thing it has got going for it is a heat resistance, but again though, it kind of gets overshadowed once you get the Desert Voe. So once you have this and you get something else, or once you've done what you need to do inside of Gerudo Town, not really much use for it then. So make of that as you will. So, and just before I forget, as I promised, if you come over here, see this carpet, and then enter. Now keep in mind you'll have to know the password to get to it, but thankfully it's just a one-time thing. Once you know the password, I guess they know that it's you. And if you come in here, the Desert Voe is right here, and it might say you back 2,000 rupees, but trust me, for what it can do and how practical it is, I think it's worth getting. Anyway, onwards. Now, I'm just gonna get out of here before I get caught. Bye-bye. And yes, in case you don't like the colour and you want something else, you can always buy them here. Once again, same stats. It's just cosmetic change. Once again, I wouldn't recommend outside of Gerudo Town. I've got the fish on my head. Don't laugh. He's eating me alive slowly. Now, let's move on to the rubber suit. Yes, I know it's kind of awkward to talk about, but hey ho. This is, as you could imagine if you've seen any science or know anything about it, rubber is basically electric proof. This is pretty much the equivalent to the snow quill outfit, except it's resistant to thunder or electricity. Makes shock resistant, similar to the Desert, and pretty much has the same stats. It's just it works for a different element.
The helmet puts you off, though.
Yeah, any helmet that covers Link's head, I'm not really a fan of.
I mean, what's the point in it being a fish?
I don't know. Maybe fish, electricity. I don't know. I can tell you. But as silly looks aside, this is really practical. As you can tell, the set bonus, much like again Snow Quill, makes you unshockable to electricity. But how unshockable, you may ask? Well, if we go over here, back in Faron, right about here, if we just walk along carelessly and attract the ones who have shock arrows, stand still. If these guys could hit something, we don't get shocked. We simply take a bit of damage.
Going in the water is a great representation.
Yeah. Well, let's do it. So, electric plus water is usually bad, but as you can tell, they are shooting the water. We're swimming around and taking no damage whatsoever.
Even picking up fish along the way.
So again, it doesn't make you invulnerable per se, but against electricity, it definitely takes away the drawbacks.
Like dropping everything.
Yeah, which is always is a hand. How you get this? It's basically you got I can't remember where, but you get it during trial and side quests.
The side quest with the helm is in Farron, is the stable in Farron. It's gonna ask you to find the reason why the stable keeps getting shocked, and the reason for that is because there's a woodcutter's axe at the very top of the stable attracting lightning. If you take that axe off, the lady will reward you with a helmet. Or
another option is if you complete Atari Town and ask a merchant in there, he'll sell you the helm, the trousers, and the vest for an expensive price, but I still think it's worth it. Much like the Snow Quill, I think it's worth your time if you get it the free way. Paying for it, and plus not to mention the amount of time you'll have to spend completing Tarry Town and opening up the chance to get it that way, it's not going to be cost effective. So this, I feel like it's really good mid-game, and considering the circumstances, it can help you in a lot of places.
Like this, for instance.
Yeah, or even late game. So, overall, I would say it's shocking how helpful this one can be in the right moments.
And all those Lizalfos are crappy aimers.
Except for that one. Anyway, let's move on. It may look like a crappy version of a diver's helmet, a diver's outfit, but this is the flame breaker armor. Its primary purpose is to protect you from Fergoron City and heat of Death Mountain. I would almost say that it's story required, but you can always get Goron elixirs, which might be costly, especially since they run out. But either way is fine, depending on your situation. For stat wise, I think it pretty much matches up with again, the Thunder outfit and the Snow Quill. This is pretty much just the region equivalent. It just protects you from fire, and if you level up to level 2, at least for each one, you cannot be set on fire. You are completely fine. That lizard just killed itself. But
I think lava's still gonna hurt you.
that's what I'm showing. It doesn't protect you from everything. It's kind of weird with the rubber outfit. There isn't really pools of electricity that you can fall into and die. So with that actually, the rubber outfit doesn't really have as much drawbacks, and I'm just infiltrating in this guy's house. Hooray from hate you indeed. Yeah, so not really much to say about it. The biggest drawback I think I have, especially if you feel like, you know what, I've just started out on my adventure, I want to go to Death Mountain first. This is gonna set you back a ways in terms of money. However, there is an easy way to get the helm. If you do a side quest for Hylian down at the hot springs, I think, or is the mine? Actually, no, wait. Yep. It is the mine. If you do a side quest for him, he will give you his helm, and that makes things a lot cheaper to deal with.
Another drawback is agility is slowed down in that outfit.
Yep, as you can imagine, it's very big, it's very heavy, it's fireproof, so it's going to cause you a bit of drawbacks in itself.
And it does nothing for stealth.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. I'm just simply walking along, and look at that sound meter. It's peaking everywhere, especially if you run. My God. Yeah. So stealth-wise, not the best. But again, though, you might have to, if you want to be cost-effective. I say that even though it's very expensive, if you want to stop paying for Goron elixirs, this is definitely a way to go. It might be a little costly early on, but getting it, it definitely saves the hassle. But speaking of being stealthy, let's move on to another one while that Liz just runs into me. And people can play Sheik, and people playing Sheik's not in this game, despite Impa being here. This right here is the Sheikah outfit. As you can imagine, ninja-like, based on stealth, and what?
Nice camera angle.
You see, based on stealth, and it is definitely a helping hand. If you are not the most confident in combat, or if you want to do a bit of sneaking around, taking out enemies with sneak strikes, or just getting in to places and stealing a treasure. This is definitely the outfit for you. And if you look closely, and with the amount of pain we've had to deal with, this is pretty much the exact same outfit as the Yiga clan, except, you know, red and the eye is upside down.
Yeah, if you walk around, I can barely, if not at all, hear Link move.
Exactly. I mean, Kakariko is basically it is I want to say somewhat of the home of the Sheikahs, I guess, or at least it's famous because of Sheik. But either way though, this outfit, combat wise, defense wise, it's not that practical. It's kind of one note. I have not been able to get the set bonus at the time of recording. But set bonus is running stealth. So the sound meter that's going on here right now, as I'm running, it's not the fullest potential. It's very quiet, and it's much more efficient than this is right now. I apologize for that. But again, though, for combat wise, it's okay. As you can imagine, we never had to feel like the need to use this. We just bought it for the sake of this video. It could be our playstyle, since we just like you to go in sword swinging and with little to no strategy, and it got us to victory. But if you like the more calculating stealth approach, this might be for you. And of course, if you wanted to live a dream in which you cosplay as Sheik, then yeah, this is for you. Not much to say on that, I guess, except there's a nice little, there's nice sticks in Link's hair. But apart from that, that's all I can really say on the Sheik outfit. I guess it's viable for early game if you want a different outfit, but practicality wise, I don't think it does much outside of early game. I could be wrong, and it's all down to preference, but I take it as you will. Now as I'm staring into water, let's go over to the water-based outfit. This is the Zora armor. As you can probably tell, based on the Zora, and is best for swimming and eventually water-based combat, even though there's not much of it. We showed the difference between swimming speeds compared to rubber tires, so I'm not going to repeat myself again for the sake of you. The Zora armor, pretty much just like, it's basically a water equivalent to the Snow Quill and a Flame Break and electric armor. It's good for good for water, and it doesn't really protect you from ice because, you know, makes sense. But with stat wise, pretty much on par. Its set bonus is swim, dash, up, stamina.
And the helmet lets you charge.
No matter how much you dash, it's not going to do much, and so you will be able to get a great distance while swimming. As Alice alluded to earlier, if you get the helm, it allows you to do a spin attack in water. It's pretty much the same as dash, but it does have a bit of offensive capabilities. But with how little water-based combat you do, I'm not sure how practical it is, but it's there if you feel the need to. How to get the armor? Well, for one thing, if you go up to Toto Lake, underneath the water, you'll see a chest. Simply pull it out, and you'll get you get the helm, no problem. the chest is story required. If you want to save if you want to save all champions, you are gonna get this. You get this from Prince Sidon, and it allows you to get it towards the Divine Beast Aruta. The Greaves, I'm sure you get it in a trial.
No, it was a side quest.
A side quest, really?
Mm-hmm.
My memory's not that great, so I do apologize for that. But yes, a side quest, and I think this is the only suit that you cannot buy in a shop. I mean, because the flame break, if you get enough money, you can. The rubber tights or the rubber armor, you can. In Tarrytown, the desert vow, you can as well. Yes, this is the only one which you cannot get by money. Only side quests and story progression. So it's a weird choice in why they went that way. But
don't sell it, buddy.
Yeah, don't sell it. Otherwise you will regret it, and it will be an uphill climb to get. Speaking of uphill climbs, this brings us to one of our favourites. I let her have it, Beastie. This is the climbing outfit. We look like a typical cool teenager looking for a thrill, but in all honesty, this is bar none one of our favorite attires of the game. With it, climbing becomes a breeze. You move faster and takes up less stamina than any default attire. And it looks trendy and modern, I guess. Whatever that's worth. Stat wise, it's not that bad, honestly. I think it's pretty much on par with every equipment. Again, level 4 gets you 20. The climb boots get you 20. So overall, this is pretty much just like a normal attire, and with climbing upgrades. Now, unfortunately, this does not help you against the rain. You will still slip and slide, and you will still fall down. I must say, everyone's frustration. But if you level these two, set up to level 2 or higher, this gives you, as you shown here, climbing jumps, stamina up. So every time you jump up a wall, you'll use less stamina. This is a godsend if you don't have Rivali's Gale, or just want to just climb up something really fast and just basically, if you don't have patience, it's a real help. Trust us. It helped us out a lot during our time with this game. To get it, you'll have to go up shrine. You'll have to take on shrine quests, most notably around the Dueling Peaks. If I could find it, Raider Shrine is where you pick up our favorite part of this, the bandana.
Took us a long time to figure that out, though.
Indeed, that's mostly my fault, of my own ignorance. Why do we like it so much? Well, let's just say it's similar to one that a character wears in our favorite game of all time. It's a blade. It's a blade of some sort. It's a different blade. A synonym of mysterious sword. let that dwell on that. Let you dwell on that for a second. But just for its effect on climbing, it's gotta be one of the ones that we use the most and we think is one of the most practical ones in the game, especially when exploring. And it's not that bad. It's not that bad combat wise. Again, mid game it goes all right, but late game, especially climbing, it'll go a long way. Speaking of a long way, let's do one which location wise is very far away from each other. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Well, you will be when look at the barbarian armor. This has got to be, albeit a silly looking one, but it does pack a hell of a punch. This armor is attack based. If you wear it, as it shows here, you'll get an attack up. It doesn't matter if you have one on or two on or all three. You'll get an attack up and you'll hit much harder, which I think in a tight spot where you don't really care about defense, this one is definitely for you. But where you can go crazy, as well as crazy as you look, and you can wail on enemies for as much as you want.
I'd like to say the helmet is reminiscent of a Lionel.
Possibly. I don't think you're wrong off that. And speaking of which, the way you get the upgrades for these is mostly from Lionel parts. So whether you figure that is going to be a difficult thing for you or not, that's up to you. Now, at the time of this recording, again, I do not have a set bonus, but I do know what set bonus is, and that is spin attack damage and time up. Basically, your spin attack hits harder and takes less time to charge up and uses less stamina, which in a bind can be very useful. as overall, I think this, again, it's got normal stats like again Zora flame breaker, climbing armor, the bog standard stuff. But if you are a guy who loves attack and loves keep on attacking, then I say this one is perfect for you. If you can go about, finding the upgrades for it. How you get each piece of armor is quite simple actually. They can be found in each of the Labyrinth trials. One here in North Africa, one here right on the edge of the Hebrew Mountains, and the last one is all the way down here next to Gerudo. Basically, at these barons, get to the end and get each blessing shrine, and you'll find each piece in there. So now, as you can probably tell, we are surrounded by guardians of sorts. Well, this leads us to one of our last ones, and quite frankly, one of the most silly but one of the most effective arm sets around. Beep boop linkbot 1 2 3 testing. With that silly intro and combined with a very silly hat, this is the Ancient set. As you can probably tell, you can find all of these at the Akala Research Facility at a very costly price not just rupees, but also ancient items as well. But if you're anything like us and you just wail on guardians non-stop, then I think you'll find, with 257 screws, 30 springs, etc., etc., you'll find yourself in a good situation.
It may not look the best cosmetically, but I will say I like how Link's hair's down.
Mm-hmm. And like how it sways in the wind. Look at its sachet. It blows in the wind. So let's test out this thing. We got struck down, but overall we take less damage from this guy. That's because this set bonus, if you can get it to level 2 or higher on each piece, it gives you ancient proficiency.
That increases your attack damage on guardians.
So basically, you may take hits, but you deal with them much easier.
Did that laser even do any damage to you at all?
Yes, it did. I'm gonna get out of here right now, before I die. Right into enemies, great. Dead. So basically, with this set, this is very late game. It's expensive to get in both items and rupees, but if you are able to get, I get it, you are looking at 28 apiece defense. Of course, I haven't upgraded this to full set yet, but still, Guardian resists up for its bog standard upgrades, which means less damage taken, and set bonus, it gets a huge attack buff. Again, I may not be the biggest fan of how it looks, but for practicality's sake, it's one of the best. And now, let's go on to some miscellaneous stuff. We're almost done, I promise. So now, let's head it on over to a place where it all began. From great beginnings, comes this. This is the wild set. This is the set in which you get, once you complete all 120 trials, and you get told to come here. This is pretty much reminiscent of the original Legend of Zelda set. Basically, the attire that Link appeared to wear in the first game, or it could be a variation compared to this new one. I myself, I'm not sure, but for stat wise, it's not a good reward if I'm honest. It doesn't cost you anything except for time, considering trials are concerned. But for the stats, I mean, okay, you can kind of forgive it for, because I know what, it's got no levels, so of course it's going to be weak. How do you upgrade these by chance? You have to get every aspect of a dragon.
I think the worst part is the acorns.
Yes, of course that. You need a shroud of fangs from each dragon, a scale from each dragon, a claw from each dragon, and that's just for level 1. For upgrading it, I don't know how much defense it gives you, but in my own opinion, it's not worth it. the amount of running around and waiting you have to do, I don't think it's that practical. I think if it gave you this item fully leveled up, then I think you would be good, but I don't think it's worth it. The set bonus is that the Master Sword, its beams take a shorter wind up. That to me is not a good set bonus, since you normally don't use the lasers that much, at least we didn't. So I would say kind of let down, but if you want to go for it and relive a Zelda fantasy, I say be my guest.
I think the set bonus should have been Master Sword durability up.
Yeah, or damage up, you know. But either way, and this isn't even the only tunic of this kind. If you have a Link amiibo, whether it be the original Smash one, the Ocarina of Time one, or the Breath of the Wild, or Wind Waker, should say, you get a similar looking tunic corresponding to the one in game.
Yeah, there's like one of the wind, of the twilight,
of the sky and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so basically they do the same things, and they even give the same set bonus. So it all comes down to, hey, which Zelda do you like best? Do you like Twilight Princess? Do you like Skyward Sword, etc., etc.? Then you know what, you can have you can have that tunic. There is no advantage to having them all, but again, it's all down to preference and which Zelda you like best. Now for final notes, there are optional ones that you can get, as in optional outfits, or almost the point, optional necklaces or circlets. They're pretty much the same, except they act in different ways. They can all be found in Gerudo Town in a jewelry shop. Here you have the ruby circlet, and as it says, it gives cold resistance, and as time goes on, you find more upgrades for it via the great fairy. It gives you a better defense overall, and more protection against whatever element it specifies in. Ruby, of course, is cold. Topaz is shock resistance. But then again, these are all made redundant by Snowquill and Rubber Outfit. One we don't have right now is a Sapphire Circlet, but that does the same thing for heat resistance.
And Opal earrings give swim speed up.
Mm-hmm. So if you want to swim really fast, have the Zora helm and the Opal Circlet, and you'll be off like a rocket. But I think my favourite one has got to be the Diamond Circlet.
Me too.
It gives a greater defense up compared to the Ancient Helm, and best part is, it's not that much. It's not that much of an eyesore. And I think compared to what we have now, if we combined the Diamond Circlet with the Ancient Greaves, and compared to the Champion's Tunic, you get a whopping 88 defense. Now, I can't say if this is the best defense you'll have in game, but it's pretty damn close. The Tunic is level 4. The Circlet is again level 4, and the Ancient Greaves level 4. So, if any of them have a higher defense rate, we haven't met it yet. And in case those are wondering, the Champion's Tunic, it's consider it to be like the Wild set or Link set in general, just without much of a headache. in order to upgrade, you need scales of one dragon each time, and various elements across the land.
Not a crap load of acorns.
No. So, and you get this by a story progression by talking to Impa, and I think overall, it from start to finish, it is a great and useful piece of kit, and I would highly recommend sticking with it. And plus, like it says, it gives you the ability to see an enemy's health gauge.
I just find it funny that that shirt is a lot stronger than the entire Guardian series.
Yep. As shown. when in doubt, just wear a shirt. You'll be fine. And there are just 2 sets here. 2 more sets left. If you what's his name again?
Kilton, it says right there.
Kilton, sorry. If you find Kilton at night time, if you have enough darkness points, he'll give you, or sell you, on monster points, I should say, he'll give you the dog tunic. Now, this is pretty much the same as, say, the sand boots or snow boots. You can't upgrade it per se, but if you like playing like Shadow Link from various games, then then this is the one for you. But talking about one for you, there's one final set that we need, and we need to show. And there's one special place that I need to go in order to show it off. There's one place that I need to go to in order to contain its power. Now that the door shut, and we're all alone, I can finally show you the best, the most powerful, the most awesome set in the game. That's right. Drink it in, man. This is the ultimate set in the game. I can run fast. I can swim fast. I can climb higher. And quiet. But maybe not as quiet as the Sheikah outfit, but you know, hey ho. But being serious though, this is just pretty much like Shulk being naked in Xenoblade. It's just for speed and just for the sake of, lol, he's naked.
And the best part is, you start off the game with this outfit.
Yep.
And it's free, and you don't have to worry about getting it from the shop.
Yeah, and I guess the only problem is like you can't upgrade it, but you know.
Yeah, Link can't like lift weights or anything to get their defenses up.
No, but at least you can walk around and not be people going, yeah, I don't care at all. And for some reason, I still have to wear a belt
for the Sheikah slate.
But oh well, I was making a joke, all right. But overall, I would say that the defense is not very good. You know why? Because it's nothing. We literally have
0.
We have no defense. So yeah, when I say this thing is good early on, that's because early on, like at the very start, is what you get. You have to put up with it for a bit.
Well, one set we didn't talk about is the very first piece of armor we got, like the ripped shirt and all that.
Yeah, but no one pays attention to that. They show they show for Link's abs and nothing else. But with that, I think I've shown every set I can. We finished where we started. Hopefully, this guide or this, I don't know, just opinion-based video that we have is helpful and gives you some of insight to what in what can work for you.
If you complete all the Gerudo Town side quests, you get the Thunder Helm.
Yeah, but so as something I know talk about, I apologize. This just works has got the same defense as like the snow boots, sand boots, dark tunic, except in thunderstorms you are invulnerable.
It's not shock proof, it's lightning proof.
It's me proof. But apart from that, that's about it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hopefully this has been helpful to you, and hopefully you'll stick by us for a little bit more. Either way, thanks for watching. See you then. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to bed. Good night.